Have you ever reached a point in life where you realize not everything needs to be said out loud? It's a quiet realization, really, one that often comes with age, experience, and a few hard-learned lessons. We grow up believing honesty is everything, that we should be open with those we love, especially family. But what if true wisdom sometimes lies in knowing when to stay silent? In this video, we're diving into something deeply personal, yet incredibly practical. 5 things you may want to keep to yourself after 65. Not because you have something to hide, but because you have something to protect your peace of mind, your independence, and the relationships that matter most. Stay with me until the end, because some of these might surprise you, and they just might shift how you navigate conversations in this next chapter of life. Number 1, your financial decisions and assets. Let's start with money, a topic that seems simple on the surface but can become complicated fast. Now, you might think that being open with your children or relatives about your financial status, your savings, your investments, even your estate planning would avoid confusion or prevent future disagreements. And in some cases, yes, that's true. But more often than we like to admit, full financial transparency invites opinions, assumptions, and sometimes interference. Have you ever seen this happen? A friend shares her retirement plans with her kids only to find herself suddenly under a microscope. Every spending decision becomes a topic of discussion. Should she really take that cruise? Does she really need a new car? Suddenly, helpful suggestions start pouring in, often unsolicited, and sometimes even patronizing. Sometimes it's subtle, a raised eyebrow, a suggestion to downsize. A comment about how that money could be used more wisely, maybe for the grandchildren, or to invest differently, or to give to charity while you're still around. But over time, it adds up. You start to feel watched. Even well-meaning family members can let their concerns cross the line. And once your full financial picture is out there, it's almost impossible to pull it back. That knowledge becomes part of how they view you, not as someone living life on your terms, but as a resource or someone who needs guidance. And in some unfortunate cases, the moment people realize what you have, they start showing up more often, not out of love, but out of interest. So here's the truth. It's perfectly okay and sometimes wiser to keep certain details private. You can share what needs to be shared, your legal documents, your executor, or important plans that affect others. But you don't owe anyone a line-by-line breakdown of your accounts, your purchases, or your financial decisions. That space is yours. That freedom is yours. Number 2, minor health concerns. Next, let's talk about something we all deal with: our health. As we get older, aches and pains become part of the landscape. A stiff knee here, a sore shoulder there, a day where your energy just isn't what it used to be. And naturally, we want to share these things with family. After all, they care, and we want to be honest. But here's the problem. Oversharing minor health issues can sometimes do more harm than good. Think about it. Have you ever casually mentioned a bit of joint pain, only to find your daughter-in-law researching specialists before dessert is even served? Or maybe you noted some fatigue and suddenly your son's calling to ask if you've had a full blood panel done this month. It's not that they don't mean well. They do. But constant updates about every little discomfort can trigger worry. Panic, or worse, the assumption that you're in decline, that you're less capable, less independent. And once that image takes root, it's hard to shake. Before you know it, they're suggesting you skip family trips, that maybe someone should stay with you more often, that you slow down or take it easy even when you feel perfectly capable of managing on your own. So what's the wiser path? Be selective. Share the important things. If you need help, ask. But don't feel obligated to report every bump, bruise, or restless night. That doesn't make you secretive. It makes you discerning. It preserves your autonomy, your dignity, and your ability to control your own narrative. Remember, silence isn't always denial. Sometimes it's self-respect. Number 3, your true thoughts on family conflicts. Family drama. If you've lived long enough, you've seen your fair share. Siblings arguing, in-laws clashing, old grudges resurfacing. And there you are, the steady one, the voice of experience, tempted to step in and set everyone straight. But here's a hard truth. Sometimes sharing what you really think only pulls you deeper into the storm. Maybe you've done it before, tried to mediate, offered your opinion, took a side, and suddenly you became the problem. or worse, the target. Family disputes have long memories. People move on, yes, but they rarely forget what was said, especially if it came from someone they trusted, someone they looked up to. What you meant as guidance might be remembered as judgment. And when it comes to sharing opinions about younger family members, their spouses, their parenting, their career choices, the risk is even greater. You might think you're being helpful, honest, loving, but to them it might sound like criticism, like rejection. So what do? You choose your words with care. You practice what I call selective silence. You listen more than you speak. You offer support instead of opinions. And when you're asked, really asked for your thoughts, you respond with grace, not judgment. Because the truth is most conflicts resolve themselves, or they don't. But your role isn't to be the referee. It's to be the one person in the family who brings calm, not chaos. The anchor, the safe harbor, the one who doesn't fan the flames, and sometimes the wisest thing you can say is nothing at all. Let's pause here for a moment. If you're still watching and these insights are resonating with you, comment below with "still here" so I know you're with me. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I'd love to have you as part of this community. Just hit that button and turn on notifications so you never miss a video that's made for you. Now, ready to keep going? Let's move forward to the next truths that matter. Continuing from what we just explored about family conflicts and selective silence, let's move to another delicate topic, one that touches all of us as time goes by: regrets about the past. It's perfectly natural to look back on your life and reflect, to wonder about the choices you made, the opportunities you passed by, or the roads you didn't take. Everyone carries regrets in some form, whether small or big, and they often linger quietly in our minds. But here's the tricky part: just because we feel them doesn't mean we always need to share them, especially not with family. Why? Because what feels like honest self-reflection to you can sometimes be misunderstood by those you love most. Imagine this: you mention in passing that you wish you had spent less time working and more time with your family. You see it as a heartfelt confession, a way to show your priorities have changed. But your children might hear something very different. They could interpret it as if you believe you weren't a good enough parent, that you somehow regret the time you invested in them. Or maybe you express a wish that you had moved to another city or chased a different dream. While to you it's simply acknowledging a what if, your family might feel you are saying your life with them wasn't fulfilling enough. Even if that isn't what you meant, those words can plant seeds of guilt or resentment that quietly grow over time. The same goes for talking about past relationships. Even a casual mention of a love you once had can unintentionally make your spouse or close family members feel like they were second choice. And reflecting on friendships that faded away or missed chances can change how people see you. Instead of remembering the strong, resilient person they know, they might begin to think of you as someone stuck in the past, unable to move forward. So what's the wiser approach? Some regrets are simply best kept to yourself. It's absolutely okay to think about them, to process them privately, and to learn lessons from them. But dwelling on them aloud, especially with family, rarely changes the past. More often, it only places an emotional weight on those who love you, a burden they don't need. Remember, the past cannot be rewritten, but the way you carry it forward is entirely your choice. Now let's transition to a topic that often stirs emotions: the full extent of your financial situation. We touched on financial decisions earlier, but here we focus on something slightly different: the risks of revealing too much about your money. Money is notoriously complex in family dynamics. It can bring people together, but it can also sow tension, misunderstandings, and even conflict. As you age, you might feel compelled to share more details about what you've saved, what you plan to leave behind, or struggles you might be facing. While transparency has its place, being too open can sometimes do more harm than good. One of the biggest dangers in revealing too much: it can change how people treat you. If your family knows you have a comfortable nest egg, some relatives might start seeing you differently, perhaps even quietly expecting financial help or dropping subtle hints about inheritance. On the flip side, if you share that you're struggling financially, your loved ones might become overly worried or begin second-guessing your decisions, sometimes even questioning your judgment. Either way, money has a way of shifting relationships in ways that are hard to undo. Another challenge is independence. The more your family knows, the more some may feel entitled to give advice whether you ask for it or not. Sometimes this leads to relatives making decisions on your behalf, convinced they're helping. But the reality, they could be taking away your ability to manage your own affairs. You might suddenly hear phrases like, "Are you sure you should keep living there?" Or maybe you should spend less on that, or it might be better if you move in with family. All because you shared information that, in hindsight, might have been better kept private. This isn't to say you should keep everything secret. Having a trusted financial advisor or a designated executor to manage your estate is smart and necessary. But outside of those trusted circles, the best approach is often to share only what's absolutely necessary and nothing more. Keeping certain financial details to yourself allows you to maintain control over your future. It helps you avoid unnecessary stress tension and unwanted advice. If you've ever noticed how quickly conversations about money can change how people act around you, then you already understand why this is one of the most important things to be mindful of. Ultimately, your finances are yours to manage. Keeping some information private protects your relationships, keeping them rooted in love and respect, not financial expectation. Final thoughts. As we wrap up, take a moment to reflect on the 5 things we've discussed today. Remember, keeping certain things private isn't about being secretive or distant. It's about protecting your peace, your dignity, and the relationships you cherish. Not everything needs to be shared. Sometimes the wisest choice is knowing what to hold back. Think about your own life for a moment. Have you ever shared something with family only to find it changed how they saw you? Or perhaps you've held back from saying something only to realize later it was the right decision. Wisdom often comes from experience. And as we grow older, we gain clarity about what truly matters: your peace of mind, your independence, and the quality of your relationships. Being selective with what you share helps you maintain control over your own life while keeping your connection strong. It's not about shutting people out, but about preserving what makes those relationships meaningful. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us. Reading your comments inspires and motivates us to create more meaningful content. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating valuable videos to inform and inspire. Thank you so much for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.